Hi, if you haven't joined me before, welcome to my channel. I'm Trevor, and today we're going to take a look at one of aviation's greatest unsolved mysteries and solve it. I didn't choose to experience the final moments of flight MH370. That happened to me, and I'm going to share exactly what happened in those final moments. I'm not going to add anything else, so from what I experienced, you can make up your own conclusions as what took place on the flight. But for those last moments, I was on that flight, and a word on that, my condolences to all the family members that lost loved ones on that flight. So, Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 took off and suddenly disappeared after the transponder was switched off on the flight. So I'm not going to go over all the details of the flight, how many passengers were there, and all that kind of stuff. That you can find on YouTube, and there is a post where someone has come very clear with all that information and to almost really what took place. So if I find that video, I'm going to post the link below so that you can catch up on those details. But if you want to see exactly what happened in those final moments, then follow this video. And how is it that I know this, and why am I only sharing it now? Well, let's have a look. So a while back, in about 2010, my Facebook account was hacked. So that is when I closed my Facebook account. I had no social media account. I've only opened my YouTube channel a few months back in November. And to all my subscribers, thank you for your support. So, and the reason why I'm bringing this post up now, I had to extract it from the archives because these are posts that I really want to place on YouTube. But the time now, being 10 years, it's time that I can start with this post and just share what I experienced. So, it was another Saturday night. And once a month or twice a month, ayahuasca ceremonies take place. And I was in an ayahuasca ceremony in the Red Path Temple. The music was incredible, the peace permeated the temple, and I was in a state of absolute deep relaxation, in a deep meditative, almost trance-like state. And the ayahuasca medicine, the Divine Mother, was in me for about half an hour. And I slowly became aware of other beings, other people from other dimensions that had also entered the temple through the Red Path portal. And as I broke through the matrix, in that exact moment, from a state of Zen-like peace into a state of absolute chaos. So you can imagine for me being really relaxed and in an instant being inside MH370 in that chaos. So as I found myself in that plane, I could sense every single person's hatred, anger. They were all furious. There was a person on the plane that was creating havoc. Who this person was, well, there's a lot of speculation that it was the pilot, and if you look at the manifest, who else could it really be? So they were all screaming, terrified. They had been on quite an ordeal, and as I said, there was absolute hate. And when you know your life is about to be lost and you've got nothing to lose, the passengers on the flight and the crew tried to intervene as much as they could, but it didn't really help. This aeroplane plunged towards the ocean at a huge speed. And what I don't quite understand is the aeroplane itself, or the jumbo, ripped into pieces. So I'm not sure if this is the speed that it's moving or why it would have done that. I still have the clear memory of the people on the plane screaming, and as the plane is ripping apart, I could see a woman holding onto the chair as she was sucked out of the aeroplane, and then it plunged into the ocean and all was silent. And then as I looked around me, I found myself back in the Red Path Portal Temple, and there was an ancient alien being, an extraterrestrial from another solar system, and he had projected me into this moment of MH370's chaos. And as I saw him floating above in this temple, he then plugged me into a matrix and he showed me the spacecraft that he came from. So I tried to generate the exact image of the spacecraft, but it was impossible. So this spacecraft was almost silver foil-like. It was shining like a star up in the cosmos. And what was very interesting about this spacecraft, it had antennae of all kinds of sizes, covering the entire spacecraft, pointing in every single direction possible. So these were really highly advanced extraterrestrials that were flying this craft, that had sensitive instruments, and they knew exactly what was going on in all directions with the kind of technology that they had. So it was absolutely fascinating to see this, to be plugged into this matrix and to be able to share this. Why this being shared this with me, I cannot say. So as I said, this is part of the chapters which I'm going to open up on YouTube now and into the future. So those final moments were very traumatic for every single soul on that plane. I wouldn't say death was sudden, but it was traumatic, and then there was that final moment of this plane splitting up and plummeting into the ocean. So I'm sure once the transponder was placed off, that plane was still tracked in some way by radar or however that they do it. And really that was the sum total of it. There was a specific person that had the know-how to create this chaos. Why he did it? Well, I can't tell you that. And so does it solve the mystery that I was actually on the plane in those final moments? Well, just know that it was not an accident. Was it a terror? I can't say either. I feel this person was absolutely crazy. And to see so much anger and so much trauma that he had put these people through on this flight. So in the future I'm going to be looking at other things, visions, initiations, from our meditations, from my dreams, and from the other ayahuasca experiences. So I hope this sort of settles this unknown mystery, and I hope you enjoyed this post and join me in the future for some other interesting revelations.